Alright guys, so this is a recording for our tutoring on February 18, 2015. What I'm going to go over today is the assignment that you had while the sub was here, which was to solve products and quotients. It was activity 22. So if you guys want to follow along with me, this was due last week, but if you didn't have a chance to finish, then we're going to do it together in tutoring, okay? If you guys will take out your handout. So we're just going to go in order. We're going to solve each problem at a time. You might need a separate sheet of paper because you run out of space right away. And I'm going to try to write small. Okay, so on number 1, you look at the numerator and the denominator. Is there anything that you can factor out of the top or the bottom?
The bottom you can factor.
Nothing really, right? 2 is as simple as it can go, and x minus 2, that's as simple as you can go. But if I look at the second one, what I can factor out of the second fraction in the numerator is an x. So you really have x minus 2 over 4. Okay, and I'm multiplying that by 2 over x minus 2. Do you see anything that you can cancel? Or divide by?
X minus 2.
Yeah, perfect. So you're going to cancel or divide x minus 2. So what are you left with? Oh, and then can't you actually divide 2 into 4? Yeah, so you're left with 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. At the very end, this is very similar to the multiplying rational expressions and dividing when we broke the code. So we're left with a 1 and an x in the numerator. So you have 1x over, and then at the very bottom you have a 2. So your final answer is 1/2 x over 2. If you look here, it's answer choice F1. So in F1, you're going to color an L-looking shape thing. Okay? And you look for that answer if it's repeated anywhere else. It's actually under C4 as well. So if I look at column C, row 4, you can also see it there. And then you shade that in. And I don't think I see it anywhere else. Okay? So I'm going to skip now or move on to number 2. If you look at number 2, is there anything that you can factor out of the first numerator?
No.
No. How about 2?
Yes. Or no, not 2.
No. X minus 1? Nope. But the bottom I can. Yeah, x squared minus 1. So since you have a squared, you're automatically going to put an x in both parentheses. Okay, so now the question is, what are the factors of -1 that add up to 0? -1 times a +1. If you add these together, you get 0. Okay, so your factors are -1 and +1. Now, do you see anything in the numerator that can be divided out? Okay, come on in. X plus 1 from the numerator and the denominator, and x minus 1 from the numerator and the denominator. So really, all I'm left with is a 2 on the bottom, and what do I put at the top? Well, those canceled already. So it's really just 1. There's nothing there. We canceled that out, we canceled this out, and then in the bottom we're left with a 2. Okay, so your final answer is 1/2. Alright, so since our final answer was 1/2, you're going to shade in that, I guess, design under 1/2. Okay, and that is actually column D, row 3. And I also see it under column A, row 6. So you would shade that in that area, okay? I'm going to go ahead and move on to number 3. Do you guys have any questions on that so far? No? Okay, so let's move on to number 3. I'm going to stop doing the shading because I think you guys can figure that out on your own. Okay, if you look at number 3, the numerator and the denominator, there's nothing you can factor. Okay, so you're going to factor the numerator. So because you have an x squared, you're going to automatically put an x and x there. What are the factors of -6 that add up to -1? Yeah, perfect. -3 times 2 gives you a -6. If I combine those together, I end up with a -1. So your factors are x minus 3 and x plus 2 all over x plus 4. Is there anything that you see that can cancel out?
No.
Mario, you might want to write this down, okay?
X minus 3.
X minus 3 and that's it. Good. So your final answer is 1 times x plus 2, which just gives you x plus 2 over x plus 4. Okay, so I see that under F, column F, row 2. Okay, let's go on to number 4. Do you have any questions on that? All right, so now if you look at number 4 it becomes a little bit more complicated. What can I factor out of 2 and 4 and x squared and x? Like, what do they have in common? Is one of 2, good. They have a 2 in common and they have an x in common. So in the end, you're left with x minus 2. 2x times x gives you 2x squared, and 2x minus 2 gives you -4x. On the bottom, you're going to put 6x times x plus 2 over, how would you factor x squared minus 4? Since it has an x squared, you have to put 2 parentheses. What did you say, Carlos? I can't hear you.
-2.
Yeah, -2 and +2. When you multiply these together, you get -4. And when you combine them, you get 0. Okay, so back to number 4. If you look at number 4, now you can actually divide out things that are in common in the numerator and the denominator. So, gentlemen, is there anything that we can cancel out? I can't hear you.
X plus 2.
X plus 2. What else?
X minus 2.
X minus 2. What about the 2x and the 6x? Sure, you can take out an x from the top and the bottom. And then can you reduce this fraction? To what? Yeah, exactly, 1/3. So your final answer is 1/3. And you can look for that in your puzzle, okay? So let's go on to number 5. If you look at number 5, I want you to see, is there anything that you can factor out of the first fraction? Nope. What about the second fraction? 4 and 12. Good. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4 on the outside. I'm going to move it over. 4x minus, what do I need to put inside the parentheses? 2 would give me -8. Good. 4 times -3 equals to -12. So on the very top, instead of x squared minus 9, I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 sets of parentheses. I have an x in one parentheses and an x in the other parentheses because of the x squared. What are the factors of -9 that add up to 0? Yeah, -3 and a +3 adds up to 0. So inside your parentheses, you're going to put x plus 3 and x minus 3. Now you can factor out, you can divide out what's in common. What's the same in the numerator and the denominator? What is it? Yeah, x minus 3. What else? How about x plus 3? And at the very end, you're left with a 3x in the numerator and a 4 in the denominator. So your final answer is 3x over 4. You guys have any questions on that one? Okay, so let's move on to number 6. This one you're actually going to be able to factor out 3 times, okay? So let's look at the numerator for number 6. How can I rewrite this as a result of 2 factors? All right, so I'm going to have to go, guys, but I'm going to go ahead and finish this last one. What are the factors of -4 that add up to -3? -4 and +1. Perfect. So you're going to have x minus 4 and x plus 1 times, on the other side, you're going to put x squared, 2, +2, and -2. Because what are the factors of -4 that add up to 0? Yeah, on the bottom, same question. What are the factors of -8 that add up to -2? 4 and 2. Okay, one has to be positive and the other one has to be negative. And what's cool about that is once you have the same thing, you're trying to get the same thing in the numerator and the denominator. So the x plus 2 cancels, the x minus 4 cancels, and what are you left with? X plus 1 over 5, actually. We're already, oh, my bad.
X plus 1 over 5?
No, times x minus 2. I forgot about that one. I didn't see it. Okay, and that's your final answer. So x plus 1 times x minus 2 over 5. And then I went ahead and saw it over here in this corner. Okay? All right, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.